Well, there's nothing more. Oh, handles come off. There's nothing more pleasing than a complete change of plan for the rest of the day. So now at 20 past 4 on the MOT day of Project Kurt, I'm dashing off to Burnley instead. But it's fine. It can be done tomorrow. There really isn't a rush at the moment for that car. I really am a very impulsive man. This could have waited until tomorrow. But instead, we dashed back from the school drop-off. Normally get back at 4, and 20 minutes later I managed to get my rear tyres pumped up and my truck started because the battery was flat again this morning. And dear, it's definitely going to need another battery, I think. Hey, transit face, with a new battery you've been really spoiling yourself. Why can't you just not need a new battery? Normally, of course, the thumbnail gives away what the car is that I'm collecting. And obviously I'm collecting the car because I wouldn't just go for a driving transit phase for no reason. Especially when I've got other things to do. But this time, of course, I'm keeping it a secret. So you have to watch most of the video to find out. This particular car has just a little bit of damage on it where, you know, a taxi drove into the side. Besides having 3 dents, 3 panels that will either need fixing or, you know, changing, the car runs fine. It's got MOT on it. Although I've just found out its battery's flat on it, so you'll have to deal with that as well. Pity I didn't get a shot of what I've just seen there. A skip parked at the side of the road with a keep left sign. That's not unusual, is it? But it does make me think, what if that keep left sign wasn't there? Would people try and drive onto the pavement to get around it? My assumption is that if they're that stupid that they'd end up going on the pavement to negotiate to skip parked at the side of the road, they're probably not going to understand an arrow, let alone driving a vehicle in the first place. Hey, how much cringe you need? Stupid Mercedes. The lovely town of Todmorden, or as they call it on the traffic report, Todmorden, because that's how it's spelt. Isn't it? What a lovely little traditional northern town in Yorkshire. It is. I like Todmorden. I like it a lot. It's full of nice old pubs, old buildings, railway bridges, which are always a bonus. It is also known as having the greatest number of UFO sightings in all of England. Maybe the world, but at least England. There's another railway bridge just up here. I'll make sure I get a shot of it. Don't you worry about it. It's always a rather lovely drive from Rochdale through Littleborough over to Burnley via Todmorden, because you know, there's lots and lots of very nice scenery, of course, and it's kind of strange really because Rochdale is known by all the people who live there and by people who don't live there as one of the most not particularly desirable places to live in the whole of the UK. Yet it's so close to amazing countryside. So imagine how bad it would be if there wasn't any amazing countryside. It was just the next town was Rochdale and another one, like 50 Rochdales, all like a mega cluster Rochdale. Oh, that'd be fantastic. I hope you brought your wallet. Yes, I did. And your keys? Yeah, it really is just as well. I have such an affection for traffic jams. And I just think they're fascinating. I could sit in them all day long and never get bored. As you can see, I'm on my return journey, and already it's got really exciting. Exciting in a way that I couldn't do with it not being exciting. Got back to start the truck, and the battery was still flat. Even having run for half an hour wasn't enough to get it going. I had to use jump leads to get the truck going again, and I'm down to quite a small amount of diesel. But I didn't stop because I don't want to switch my engine off. It's scary and it's exciting. Just getting into Todmorden now, and the fuel reserve light hasn't come on yet. Maybe stop for no reason. Well, how about that? I'm as far as Littleborough now, which means I've only got 3 miles to go, and my reserve light still hasn't come on. So either it's broken, or transit face is doing me a right good favour. GTI. Well, it's a bit tired looking. It's quite a lot tired looking, in all honesty. But that's not the worst bit. The worst bit is that that's a rather significant dent there. Another one there. And another one there, but it's still a complete car, good MOT history, and yeah, it's going to be saved. Personally, I really want to do something with that paint. That is an awful lot of car washes, I reckon. It's going to take some work, if indeed it will actually come up at all. The interior is blue carpets, blue seats, quite a lot of grass in there, grass and dust. It's a proper old saggy headlining, of course. This is an old man's car for sure. I like it. 4 electric windows. Oh, blue dashboard. 103,000 miles. My friend Turb has been telling me about this car for 3 months when it got a bit crashed into, and now it's finally here. So I'm really pleased that I've had the opportunity to buy it and not someone who's just going to wreck it. Who's with me? So this car is called Project Max. Max because he's a young chap who's very good with these cars, who did quite a lot of work on the engine a few years back before it was moved on to my friend Turb. And now, of course, it is surplus to requirements and it's mine. All mine. Guess what? I absolutely love it. I really, really love it. The last car I felt like this about was my 420 GSI 2 years back, which is why I was so disappointed when it got stolen. And then I had a 216 GTI, also from my friend Turb, and that was the same kind of thing again. But this one, I don't know, it's just even more, it's exactly what I wanted. The fact that the paint's rough everywhere, the fact that it needs things doing to it, is exactly what I need. I like a car that's a challenge. I like something that starts off really bad and I make it something nice. A newer car, I'd want it to be kind of perfect to start with, because you don't really want to be driving around in someone else's mistakes. But with this one, it's 30 years old. 30! That is the oldest car I have ever owned. Although the previous 400s and 200s were on a J plate as well. They weren't 30 years old. They were 27 and 28 respectively. This one is 30. That is old. That deserves a round of applause for getting that old. And I'm going to drive it back home again now, and I'm going to enjoy every moment of it. It's just wonderful seeing these big clocks again, and that dashboard where you can place a nice soft line on it. Now you know how much I like Nigel. I prefer this as an everyday car. And Alfie is a wonderful car, but this really makes me happy on an entirely different level. George, what a wonderful Rover 600 that was. But even that had the thing missing that this has. The R8 is, as I've said it before, probably the most suitable car ever for me. And I would dearly like to keep this one.